guys, Andrew the Realtor here. It is the 8th of October. You should be getting this video out shortly with my newsletter. So this is my monthly update about the housing market. Seeing a lot of articles and such, a couple of which I've probably included with the newsletter. And guys, I'll try to make this brief. Very interesting information overall. If nothing else, if you're even thinking about selling, frankly, if you just want to know a quick synopsis of what's actually happening in the market, here we go. So I'll try to make this fast. I'll try not to talk too fast, but you guys know how I am. I will cover some interesting aspects that I have not covered in the past, just to give you a kind of a more broader idea of where the market is in a lot of different areas. So here we go. I'm going to do my presentation here. Present. So, and here we are. Keep myself minimal. So these are the market stats for September. As I was anticipating, if you saw my last newsletter last month in terms of the market, September was in fact another historical record in terms of sales volume. So we're looking at July, August, and September, all of which have had so far record sales. Now, is October going to be that way? October is definitely already busy. It will be busy. However, is it going to be a record? I'm not sure exactly. May come pretty close because things are still happening at a great pace. And again, we're into October already. Some basic numbers that I usually do for you guys is homes sold. You might have already seen the articles on this. As soon as they came out, it was on CP24, on the news. Even before I actually got the graphic, interestingly, I already knew about the numbers and I could see it on the news and the articles in the newspaper. Boy, it's amazing how popular real estate is. Literally within just a few minutes of it going out, it's like people were already ready with their article, just needed to put in the numbers. And they kind of had an idea where things are going. So September to September this year to September of last year, up 42.3%. My first little circle there. Huge increase in sales. Obviously, incredible volume. If you haven't seen my previous newsletters, even dating back all the way to March and April, I was giving some ideas of what the market is doing then and what I thought the market was going to be doing. This was actually one of the two options that I thought was going to happen. You might recall, I thought it was going to be either kind of a normal start, slowly getting into the pace of things, or just bam, spring market all over again, which is what happened. So we're at 42%, incredible sales volume across the GTA. East, west, north, you name it. Average price up 14%. And at the bottom here, I didn't circle them, but you can see detached, semi, townhouse, everything double digits with the exception of condos, which are slowing down, but 6% is not a bad thing. And considering what is happening with COVID and that kind of thing, in my last update last month, I mentioned the idea that COVID is going to take a bit of condos will take a bit of a hit because of the because of the COVID situation, tight spaces, that kind of thing. But that'll probably be only temporary, depending on how much volume goes into the market next year in terms of new condos whose construction got delayed because of COVID. So this kind of lower appreciation, if you can call 6.6% lower, that probably is going to continue for a little while until because there's going to be a lot of inventory of condos, like I just mentioned. Back to last month's market. Notice new listings up 30%. That's how we got record sales. Active listings are about normal. That's how many listings are actually on the market at one time, in this case, September of last year. But new listings up 30%. So we were listing on a regular basis, just things were selling so quickly due to demand that it just continues to be. All that pent-up demand, that plus low interest rates, plus interest in the GTA really increased a lot of sales. You can see the numbers. So new listings, active listings, a lot of volume overall. Average days on market. You'll notice a difference here, and I'll give you guys a quick definition of what this is. You'll notice LDM here and PDM, PDOM, excuse me, LDOM and PDOM. DOM is days on market, as many of you know. Certainly, if you bought recently with me, you know those numbers or remember those. LDOM means listing days on market in terms of how long that specific listing was on the MLS before it got sold. And then importantly, as you guys have probably seen, sometimes something doesn't work out, a deal falls through, or maybe they set an offer date and it doesn't work. They relist the property. And so PDOM, which I think is much more important, is property days on market, meaning how long that property has been on the market. Previous listing, the new listing, second listing, some properties get relisted several times until they sell just to keep it fresh. This allows us to have a more accurate view, but still days on market, 22. That's incredible. And that's across the GTA. And I'm going to show you just how incredible it is in just a short while. So the point is of what happened last month. Huge amount of activity. Average price clearly going up because of the insane demand. Will it continue for the next little while? We may very well have a November and December that is very busy, similar to that of last year. What that will do with the inventory, I'm not exactly sure. Usually a busy November and December means a lot of the inventory that would be available in January gets eaten up, leading to a busy January, busy February, just like it did this year. Will it happen next year? I'm not entirely sure. I will tell you this, are the prices going to decline? I don't see it. I don't see it because I don't see the kind of numbers that are necessary for prices to decline. We'd have to increase listings quite a bit. Will it slow down in appreciation? Absolutely. Will it slow down in activity? It needs to. Frankly, I'd like to see it that way. Will it go down, especially to the kind of numbers I'm hearing? CMHC said they're going to go down maybe 5-10%. No, excuse me. I think they're saying upwards of 5 to 15% decrease in the value, real estate value. I don't see that happening. Keep in mind, CMHC that said that are the exact same people that said it's going to be a slow summer. And, well, we know how that turned out. So this is what this is. I want to show you something interesting here. And I find it interesting. If you don't like the market, if nothing else, you'll be happy to hear about whatever area you happen to be in. Move myself off this way. In fact, maybe make myself even smaller. This is from Market Watch. Forgive the fuzziness. I had to increase it so I could show you specifically the areas I wanted you to show. We know Durham, affordable. Of course, it's going to have a lot of activity. We know Peel, similar fashion, slightly less affordable than Durham, but certainly better than Toronto. Absolutely lots of activity. York region, the same thing. But how you really know how a market is doing in terms of activity, in terms of sale, in terms of demand, is let's go to the most expensive areas. Let's go to those areas that usually tend to settle a little bit longer. Let's go to those areas that not everyone can afford, meaning that the buyer pool actually is narrowed down quite a bit. So let's go to the most expensive areas in Toronto. Here you'll find that I already highlighted here, C2, C3, C4. C2, you're looking at Castleloma, the Annex. You're looking at closer to places like almost to places like Deer Park, Yonge and Sinclair. Lovely areas. Look at the average price there, 1.689 million in September, just to give you an idea. Not everyone has that kind of money. Some of you, of course, do. Some of you actually live in that area, especially Deer Park. So look at average listing days on market and property days on market, 20, 29. Less than a month. That's pretty impressive. C3, places like Forest Hill, not a cheap area, 1.8 million average at the last month. 11 days, listing days on market, 17 property days on market. Less than 3 weeks. C4, I like to call the park areas. Bedford Park, Lawrence Park, Tinton, Linden Park. There's numerous other parks. I can't even think it in my head. That's C4, 2.24 million average. Clearly, upscale, expensive areas. 12 days on market for listing, 15 days on market average property. What's the point of this? I can go to C9, which includes Moore Park, Rosedale, 2.4 million average, down to C10, which is the Mount Pleasant areas. And of course, C12 is Bridle Path. Bridle Path, look at Bridle Path. Average 3 million, that includes some lower price property. We know Bridle Path has properties 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, up to 20 million plus per property. Average days on market for a property is 66 days, just over 2 months. Now, that may sound like a lot to you if you're living out in Durham, or maybe even places like even Davisville or Bloor West, where things tend to move a little bit faster. But those properties are not at an average of $3+ million. Oh, just over 2 months. That's not bad at all. In fact, that's very, very quick. Why am I telling you guys this? Because some of you guys might not be interested in the market and everything. In terms of appreciation, you guys are sitting really well. Homeowners are doing really well in terms of appreciation. It is going to slow down, of course. But the way things are looking right now, it's not going to be anytime soon. In terms of prices going down, I don't see it. The inventory, the numbers aren't quite there. I have to wait next month. I'll certainly update you guys in terms of what's happening with the inventory because that really dictates what's happening. And as demand eventually slows down, as COVID hopefully begins to settle down a little bit. Who knows? Second wave, third wave, who knows what people are talking about. The market has not been nearly as effective as people thought it was going to be. I looked into some of these areas like Forest Hill, one area right around Deer Park, and I noticed the kind of properties that were selling, the percentage of properties listed versus percentage of properties that actually sold. And the percentages were very high. I remember doing the math just a month or two ago, and I was surprised because sometimes you have to relist, sometimes it doesn't sell because things are expensive. Well, you know what? They were in the 80s and 90 percentile, meaning that things are selling. The market is quite hot. The demand in the GTA is still very hot. So if nothing else, that's one thing to be thankful for with Thanksgiving coming up. So I hope that was of some interest, guys. It was a crazy month. It was a really crazy month, the third of several crazy months. But to be candid, a lot of the negative things that people say about the GTA in terms of housing. Yes, it's difficult. There's definitely some issues that need to be resolved in terms of availability. I think it's very difficult to work on demand. I mean, you can make things more expensive, make mortgages more expensive, but the demand is still pretty much going to be there. I think it's a matter of supply or figuring out that supply end of things, maybe making things a little bit easier. I'll include it on article with the newsletter that says something about what some builders think about the GTA. Not negative stuff per se, but some hurdles that they constantly have to go over. So that's the market. If you guys have any questions, if you're thinking about buying or selling, if you just have questions in terms of how to plan things out, maybe for next year, give me a shout. Let me know. I'm working with some people right now that have a little more long-term plans and trying to kind of figure out exactly what it would be best, what makes more sense, and not only time-wise and numerically, financially speaking, but also in terms of life. Things have to fit with your life as well. So, guys, I wish you a fantastic rest of October. And, of course, we got the Thanksgiving long weekend. Guys, enjoy the long weekend. I hope most of you do have a chance to take time off. Just this morning, talked to some folks from church. Just the idea of being thankful. And, guys, some of you know me. This isn't part of the market update. But, guys, I was born in the Soviet Union. Waiting in line at a Costco with a mask on. To me, it made me laugh because I remember being a kid standing in line for hours and hours for things like bread and possibly meat if it's a good day for that. I'm very thankful for what I have. Gabriel, if you see this, my accountant actually reminded me that sometimes I'm a little too hard on myself, and to remember the many things that I can be thankful for. In a year such as COVID, the fact that I have work, the fact that I have business, the fact that I have people like yourself even paying any attention to me at all, and many of you have sent referrals my way as well, which I really appreciate. I'm thankful for you. I'm very thankful for being in Canada. I'm thankful for a long weekend. Get to take my family out a little bit and have a nice dinner. So, guys, I hope you have a chance to do the same. Take care of yourselves. See you in November when we find out what the heck happened in October. See ya.